Good morning, all you DIYers. It's Tuesday morning. That means Pro Tip Tuesday. So you've been in your bathroom and you notice water around the base of your toilet on the floor. It's probably a good indicator that you need a new wax ring for your toilet. It's no problem. It's a pretty easy DIY. You should set aside the average person maybe 2 hours for this job. It's fairly inexpensive. The parts are fairly inexpensive as well. So I'm going to share with you a few other tips today to help you make that job go easier, cleaner, and a little more efficient for you. So this is more for those of you who have a general idea or have already done this. These are just 3 small tips that help the job go more efficiently and a little cleaner. Pro tip number 1. So you have your toilet and you've turned the water off and you've flushed it. But I've already done this to mine, but there's still water in the bowl and water in the top. It'll sit like that just fine until you move the toilet and it becomes uneven and then the water will spill out on the floor. No problem, right? Just grab a bunch of towels, wipe it up. That is a way to do it. But the way I've found the best way is to grab a little shop vac, take the filter out, to where you prepare it to be a wet vac, and then you can just suck this water right out of the bowl and you have a nice dry working area. And when you move that toilet, it won't slosh around, spill all over the floor. Pro tip number 2. Before you go to the store to buy your parts for this job, go ahead and perform pro tip number 1. Get the toilet nice and dry. Make sure you shut your water off. Undo your bolts at the base. Pull your toilet and set it to the side, like on a trash bag or something. Usually makes a nice place to set that out of your way so you have a nice clean work area. And now look at your flange and make sure there's nothing going on there that would need a professional's help. If there's broken concrete or the flange is bent, propped up, or if there's wood rot, if you have a traditional foundation, anything that you think looks out of the ordinary, might be time to call a professional. But secondly, note the height of your flange. If your flange is floor level, you probably need a jumbo flange. If your flange is sitting on top, you may be able to get a standard size wax ring. So if it's below floor level or at floor level, you probably want a jumbo. If it's sitting on top of your tile, a standard size wax ring should work. If it's below the tile or below floor level and it dips down, you may consider calling a professional too, because that may be something that needs to be corrected. Because what a lot of people do is will stack wax rings to correct that, but that can get a little tricky, and if you mess that up, you could have more problems than you need. Pro tip number 3. Your wax ring will come with bolts like these. And these are just fine, but after you set them, you're going to have to cut these bolts more than likely. So to make that process easier, instead of having to, have a Sawzall or some cutters and cutting that laying on the floor afterwards, I just go ahead and while I'm there with the wax rings, I reach down and get a pair of these snap-off fasteners. These are like $3.50. And what these do is allow you, after they're installed, you can just snap off the end of them right there with a pair of pliers, and then you're good to go. Then your cap ought to fit right on top of them and be nice and smooth without any problem. So those were 3 tips that I use to help my job of changing out wax rings go faster, smoother, and cleaner. Hope you found them helpful. I hope it gave you the knowledge and power to go ahead and tackle that DIY job this Sunday afternoon. Another thing I would do is go ahead and take note in your handy dandy home repair notepad that you should have in a file somewhere of when you changed this. So I'd write down the date you changed that, and any other significant notes you may find handy in the future. Maybe your flange is looking a little wore, and you might have a flange that needs to be replaced in the future. So go ahead and jot that down. That way, when you come to that job next time, you'll have a better idea and understanding of what you may be faced with this time. You also may write down, take note of the time and how long it took you so you can schedule that time out in your Saturday or Sunday afternoon the next time you tackle that, and there won't be any surprises. We'll talk about a notebook with home repairs later, and I'll show you how to organize that nice and neat, and what things should go in there and what things shouldn't. All right, this has been another Pro Tip 101 with Orsburn Family Construction. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.